back to My Wild and Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and get on this baked squirrel stew recipe. Should be pretty quick. I'm trying to make it to where you guys don't have to sit here and waste the rest of your day watching this thing. So I've already gotten my oil started and getting it heated up. I'm going to get about 350 degrees. We breaded our squirrel, and you put a little bit of water in a pan, just like quarter cup, half cup. Just get the squirrel good and wet. And then take some flour. I did about 4 cups because I'm going to use this later on today for another fry. And I'll add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons paprika, and about a tablespoon of black pepper. I just like black pepper. You guys don't have to put that much in there. Also about 2 teaspoons of salt. I also dash a little bit of cornstarch in there. Helps make the breading more flaky. Even though this is as much flour as there is, it'll still stick really well throughout the bake. So just in the interest of time, I've already got here behind me. We can see all of our squirrel pieces here. Got our cast iron over here heating up. And over here we see our pot. And I've got a bunch of little potatoes in there sliced up on the bottom just to make sure that nothing burns to the bottom of the pot. Now we're going to bake this at 205 degrees. This recipe mostly comes from Shotgun Red. I've made some modifications to it for my own taste. So notice how we got a little bit of that flour is starting to come off of there a little bit. That's okay. That's just where the moisture is coming out. The salt in it is drawing out your moisture. I did that with every one of these. Let's find us a spot here. Right there looks pretty good. Alright, that works. We're going to fry these until they're golden brown. You don't have to get them done all the way through. That's not necessary. Our oil hasn't hit 350 yet. That's all fogged up there. Should be a little bit hotter than it is actually. That helps seal that breading on there real well. But we're over 300 degrees, still climbing. So we'll give these some time to fry, and then we'll go ahead and turn them, and we'll put them in the pot on top of those potatoes. Oh, I'm telling you right now, that is absolutely gorgeous. Not sure even the Colonel could do it better himself. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Take one of these pieces here, they've cooled down a touch. Now, yeah, that breading ain't coming off there. Not at all. Now, I did bleach my counters and everything, sterilized before I went ahead and do it, so it's clean. The reason why all that happened, guys, why the breading stays so well on there. I mean, you saw me tossing around, smacking it on the counter and everything. The reason why that stayed on there so well is for one reason and one reason alone. Because we put it in there to 350 degree oil. Now, the reason I mention this is because I've always had problems with breading coming off. If you put it in there in really, really hot oil, like 350, that's a ticket, especially for breading. Hey guys, so what I've got now, we're going to do 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. Cream of mushroom. I don't care what one you get, just get whatever you can afford. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just cream of mushroom soup. Because remember, we're going to put some mushrooms in there too. Except we're not going to use the exact mushrooms that a lot of people use. Now, I'm going to take this here spoon, we're going to put some of this chicken broth. This comes from my own chickens that I made. Well, I mean raised. I made the chicken broth. Matter of fact, you're probably better off using a whisk. There we go. That looks a lot better, don't it? Okay. Now it's getting good and mixed in. Add a little bit more in there. That looks good. Now remember, when we're going to cook this low and slow, 205 degrees, this is going to thicken up over time. Give it time, this is going to thicken up. Just got to be careful exactly how much we use that. That's a whole quart. And probably end up using more. Now, you're going to want to get some butter. if I can find how that works. Now, you ought to soften the butter up. You really should. But you know what? This isn't actual butter. This is margarine. About a half a stick, give or take. I actually need to take a little off of that. We're going to plop that down in there. Because once it gets in the oven and everything, guys, that's going to melt. Right, guys, so we're going ahead. We got our over here. I thought I had some more chicken stock made, but I didn't. I had to use a couple bouillon cubes. We're just going to pour all that in there. Mostly cover our squirrel. There's a couple places over here and over here that didn't get covered, and that's all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and heat this up, bring it to a bit of a simmer. Once we have it to a simmer, then we're going to put it in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and now preset the oven to 205 degrees. 205. All right. Okay, guys. So in the interest of time, went ahead and cut up all my onions, carrots, green bells, and right there's your garlic. Now, you wanted to have 1 large bell pepper, 1 regular size sweet Vidalia, and 3 carrots worth. That's actually 2 carrots because I snacked a bunch last night. You want 1 heaping tablespoon. I like a lot of garlic, so I add just 2 heaping tablespoons of diced garlic. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, it was worth the wait. It's dark outside now. This has taken way longer than it was supposed to have, but I want to make sure everything was super tender. Let me show you something. So guys, something I thought about, and where I didn't get any more does that day when I was up there, my first video this year, 2019. So here's the dove breast. Alright. I cooked it in there with the rest of the squirrel. Just why not? Let's give it a shot. It's a little dry compared to the squirrel, but yeah, I'd do it any day. Definitely. Has kind of a, if you like fried beef liver and onions, that's pretty much where it is. Interesting texture. See, a lot of times with birds, you want to cook them rare. Still yet. It's pretty good. You know, I can't quit this. I don't know if there's so much squirrel left in that pot. I doubt if there is. That's the best way I've ever had squirrel. I'm not kidding you. Squirrel does not get done that well. I don't care who says what. It's the only way to eat a squirrel. Now wait a minute. Y'all didn't think I was just going to make all this and not have something sweet to eat. Check this out. That's right there's a pecan pie.
Left home this morning, coffee and his keys. He has the perfect wife, lets him do as he please. He's out all weekend, you may not think that's cool. Can't fight this addiction, 'cause he's a hunting fool. Hunting fool, hunting fool. But he's too old to change, and he's stubborn as a mule. Leaves the troubles of his life behind, that's his only rule. Well, he's an outdoor junkie, 'cause he's a hunting fool. He's got a dog named Wilbur, straining on his chain. He only lives for hunting, and it's driving him insane.